and Views with Tom Lamprecht. The stories you've heard and the ones you need to hear.
If you come to our border, you will be turned back.
This administration that cares about people is actually hurting children.
This is really a rare victory in the fight against these cyber criminals.
Follow the money.
If we don't stop this now, everybody across the nation is going to be forced to get things into their body that they don't want, and that's not right. It's not right.
Your life, your values, your voice. This is News and Views with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
All right, welcome in. It is News and Views with Tom and Benny and Clark and you. And how many days now have we been under the governor's emergency dictatorship? Believe it or not, it's over 450 days, according to Representative John Bell and Representatives Keith Kidwell, who sent a letter to our governor earlier today and saying, okay, what gives, Gov? Give us some, work with us here. Do something. Give us some hints. I mean, the Virginia governor, he has said that soon the emergency deal is going to be over. South Carolina, they're over. Canada is over. But when it comes to North Carolina, the governor comes out just in his last update and says, we're in the middle of this pandemic. In the middle of this pandemic. Keith Kidwell doesn't think we're in the middle of the pandemic. Keith is on the line with us right now. Keith, welcome into News and Views. Good to have you with us. And let's talk about this letter that you and John Bell have decided to put together and send to our governor.
Tom, thank you very much. Benny, good to talk to you guys. Tom, if we're in the middle of the pandemic, that means that this is going to go on for another 450 days or 900 days in total.
Logically, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's got to end. Most of the states are changing, even the Democrat states now, are changing their policies, opening back up, no restrictions. Let's get back to work, back to school. Let's take the masks off and do what Americans do. I mean, we're looking at July 4th weekend coming up, and our governor is still restricting our freedoms on what's supposed to be the freest country on our celebration of the birth of our freedom. Governor, wake up and smell the coffee, dude. It's time to do the right thing and stop using political science. And tell me, as Leader Bell and I have asked, please tell us what science you're using to make this determination that we're still in the midst of a pandemic, because we don't see it.
That's a good point, because the governor and Mandy Cohen have said from the get-go that all they're doing is following the science, following the data. And as you say, there's nothing, it looks like nothing but political science. Do you have a clue as to what motivates the governor to have dug in his heels in such a way that he's just going to say, I'll be darned if I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to do what I darn well please. I'm trying to keep this PG there, Keith. What's his motivation?
It's hard for me sometimes because you get just so infuriated by as you say, him and Mandy have sat there and put these things on the people of North Carolina, these restrictions that have gone on. I was in the gym yesterday over at Body Sculptors with Rich Hooten, and we were talking about this very same thing. We have in place rules that made no sense from the start. I mean, I'm not saying that COVID didn't happen. It's here. People died from it. That's true. But our response has been so over the top. And I'll be honest with you. Let's look at Governor Cooper's history. Tom, he is the owner of over 60% of all vetoes ever made by a governor in North Carolina.
Are you kidding?
What does that tell you?
In the history in the history of North Carolina.
In the history of North Carolina, he owns 60% of all the vetoes, and it's growing. Okay, that's simply power. I stood and listened to him. Almost made me want to throw up, to be honest with you. Stood there and listened to him at Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson's Henry Clay meeting last week, where he talked about Henry Clay was a great negotiator and conciliatory, and that Governor Cooper thought he was. And I'm like, are you kidding me, Governor? You have vetoed more legislation. How do you call that somebody who's willing to work with somebody and reach across the aisle? He's done nothing but slap back every good policy we've tried to put in place. We can't even get a budget out of the man. We can't even run the state. We offered 5 different budgets last year with teacher raises in them. He vetoed everything except the smallest one for $350.
I can't believe.
How does that make sense?
Well, it doesn't make sense, but I can't believe it's just incompetence. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, he has got some sort of motivation here to be a stick in the mud.
Well, or it could just be what my bumper sticker says on my truck.
Which
my
is?
Governor's an idiot.
Tell us how you really feel, Keith.
Don't sugarcoat it, Keith.
Keith, what can we do? What can the General Assembly do? Does it have to be a veto-proof bill you guys have to do to just absolutely stop these powers from going forward, or what can you do?
It really does, Benny. We cannot. It's not that way. A republic does not say the legislator can walk over and tell the governor, hey, you're doing a bad job, get out of the chair and go home. If we could, I'd have done that a year ago. Okay, but we're in a situation. The way our government works is we have to pass legislation. The governor has to sign it. If the governor vetoes it, then it comes back to the General Assembly, and we have to get a veto override. The problem is Mr. Conciliatory sits there and threatens Democrats. If you don't go the way I tell you to, we're gonna have somebody primary you.
Yeah.
And the party's going to support them. So look, I've had them walk in my office, Tom, and say, Representative Kidwell, we love this bill that you're running. I've had the handgun bills that way, budget bills that way, mask bills that way, vaccine bills. They walk in and tell me, love the bill, can't vote for it because I'll lose my seat. And I asked our representative out of Pitt County, I said, the problem with you guys on the other side of the aisle is none of you will buck the governor or your party. You will not stand up for what you personally believe in, and that costs me more of a debt of respect that leaves you so fast.
You still there? There you are. Yeah, we lost you for there.
Yeah,
a second. We lost you there. So it appears to me there is no bipartisan agreement that's going to be reached. It appears to me we're just going to continue to be at loggerheads. Do you see the ship turning one direction or the other, or are we just going to continue with more of the same?
Well, I'm hoping if we can't get something to work with us on the Democrat side, that our only hope, honestly, is going to be November of 22.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to have to take back the supermajority in the House and the Senate, and then we can get some stuff done. Because he can veto it, and we can turn it around and send it right back and say, tough luck, buddy, we're going to override your veto. Like, I could see, Tom, if he owned 10% of the veto, even 20 or 30%, 60% of every veto ever done.
That's unbelievable.
What does that tell you about the man?
It's his way or the highway is what it tells you.
Exactly.
Well,
it's all a power struggle, as is it. This is why we're sending the letter. This is why Leader Bell and I got together and said, look, we've got to stop this. Now, this was kind of a nice letter. You know me better than this. I really want to do a little more bite to it. But John was like, easy, boy. So I told John, I said, John, next round, if we can't get him to work with us on this one, we're going to have to get tougher with him. Maybe it's going to take another letter with 60 members of the House signing it and sending it over and making that public, because that's worked twice now.
So, in essence, for our listeners, the letter is going to the governor, and it's basically just saying, tell us what you want. What are the metrics that you are looking for to drop the state of emergency like all these other states have done, and Virginia, where we've got the liberal of liberal governors up there, even he has dropped it. And that's basically all you're asking for is, okay, give us the metrics, give us a date, give us what you're thinking. Let us know what you're thinking. You're supposed to be transparent. How about some transparency? Yeah. Say again?
Where's the goalpost? Don't sit here and the goalpost is at the 100-yard line. You keep moving it back 10 yards, and all of a sudden it's at the 200-yard line.
Yeah. So
we've been 450 days, Tom.
Yeah.
Actually, 455. Since he imposed the first order on us.
So what is the response, ideally, that you would like to see from the governor?
Well, I'd like for him to wake up tomorrow morning and say, you know what, Representative Kidwell is right. Let's open this state up, get it back to work, put our kids back in school, take the masks off, and let's be a free country again.
Okay. Now,
No.
Yeah, I was going to say. Now, what do you think the answer is going to be? Do you think he's going to even respond to it?
He's going to say, tough luck, suck it up, and this is my state, and I'm going to run it the way I want. I honestly believe that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Keith, this is Benny again. You just hit on a good point in my mind that the messaging is important for the Republicans in this situation because, hey, I'm going to give you some free political advice here, and you guys that you pay a bunch of money for, but it's free. Just what you said.
Hold on, Benny. I might have to get your information so I can do an in-kind contribution. Hold on.
No, you brought up the point of the vetoes. You need to do a commercial and say, okay, there's been ever how many thousand vetoes in North Carolina history. Roy Cooper did 640 of them, or whatever it is.
Yep.
There hasn't been a teacher raise since X date. Why? Roy Cooper vetoed them. Twice now in the last last 2 terms. There hadn't been a budget, right? Or is it 3?
Well, actually, the last session, which was 2 years, we didn't get a budget through because we kept sending them up. And, he told us up front, Benny, he said, I am not signing a budget that doesn't include Medicaid expansion. Yeah. We're not going to expand Medicaid. If you want to sit down, and we told them this, you want to sit down and have that as a separate item talk, we'll at least talk about it. It's not going to be part of the budget, okay?
Yeah, just ask New York how that went, right?
Well, it hasn't worked anywhere they've done it. Look at the amount of taxes they're paying in New York, New Jersey, California. And then, all those people are leaving those areas and coming to North Carolina. We had 3rd district since January, so just about 6 months, has grown by 45,000 people. Mm. That's just the 3rd congressional district, 17 counties. 45,000 people in North Carolina moved to that area. It's growing like crazy. Why? Because we have good, strong fiscal policies. We have good tax policies that we're trying to improve on. We have a great base for where people can come in and draw from our colleges and our community colleges. But in the meantime, the governor is trying to stifle every bit of that.
Hmm. Hey, Keith, thanks for checking in with us. Thanks for you and John Bell, Representative Bell, writing this letter to the governor. And unfortunately, I have to agree with your second answer. I don't think anything's going to be done, but I think the fact that you are putting pressure on him is a step in the right direction. And if our listeners want, Clark, see if you can get this letter up onto the website, or if our listeners would like to read it, I will forward it to Clark here. It'll be up in a few minutes. So, Keith, thanks for.
They can also pick it up, Tom, at Representative Keith Kidwell on Facebook. Also, just real quick, the Freedom Caucus has been pressing the Board of Elections to get answers on why numbers keep changing, looking at the machines, those types of things. Again, that one you can find on the North Carolina House Freedom Caucus on Facebook. I got a video up there telling you what we're doing with that. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I listen, before you run, I don't know if you've seen the, speaking of the, what you're doing, the Freedom Caucus with investigating the machines and making sure we have voting integrity. There was an interesting article in the Gateway Pundit. Benny and I were talking about it. I really wasn't going to bring it up today because the Gateway Pundit has written an article. It was actually submitted from somebody in North Carolina talking about the irregularities in the voting in North Carolina, but they're upset because they're saying that Orange County and Durham County was too liberal, and I don't know that those two counties can be too liberal. So I wasn't going to really run with it, but even in North Carolina, there's some questions out there about voting. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing for voter integrity, because that's the one thing we got to straighten out, or we are. It's why we're in the pickle we're in right now, I believe, and so please keep up the good work.
Well, it's one of the biggest complaints I get, Tom, is people are concerned about the quality of our elections, and I have to agree with that. We are a republic. We base everything on our vote. It's one of the things, it's the thing that every person who has died in every battle that was fought for this country has died for, is our right to vote, and it should be protected for the sacred thing that it is. And the Board of Elections needs to know that the people need to have confidence that their vote is counted and counted accurately.
Yep.
And
Amen.
that's what I'm seeking to do. I don't know if there's good, bad, or indifferent in there. I'm not going to go in with pre-made up decisions. I want to investigate what's going on and make sure that what we're doing is exactly the right thing for the people.
All right, Keith. Keith Kidwell calling in. Thanks. Keep up the good work. Benny and I'll be right back.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet, because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Pasalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place? I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also. From the bar to the two dining areas, you got two different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have two rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Maribella's and the great pizza that you get at Maribella's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. Come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms, high in the mid-80s, low at night in the low 70s. That's an easy forecast, easy to remember. The sun actually will come out by the weekend, so at least the rain is coming during the week and not the weekend. And let's see, ECU will get underway Friday at noon.
Friday at noon, yep, Nashville, and again Saturday at noon and Sunday at 3 p.m. I think is the schedule, if necessary.
Well, what are we hoping it's necessary? Obviously we're hoping we win.
I actually think it's going to go 3 games.
I hope you're right.
I think it's going to go 3 games, and
well, if it does, they're going to probably pitch their 2 aces.
Well, they
Friday
will.
and Saturday.
They
so
will.
If it goes 3 games, that means the pitching will be in our favor come game 3.
Well, it'll at least be. Anyway, those 2 guys are tough. We got a couple guys that are tough, but
and we got some good hitting. Yep. Let's hope it falls into place this coming weekend. Weather brought to you by our friends, and your sports forecast is brought to you by our friends at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Voted best golf course in Greenville 2 years in a row, Ironwood Golf and Country Club boasts an 18-hole Lee Trevino design course, full-service dining and outdoor pool, tennis, and more. Our newly renovated 15,000-square-foot clubhouse is the perfect place to make new traditions with your family. For a limited time, join Ironwood and pay 0 initiation fees. Give them a call, 252-752-4653. Find out what makes Ironwood the best of Greenville, 252-752-4653. Be a part of the best Ironwood Golf and Country Club. 561-8255. Patricia called us last week, and she was working with going to the Beaufort County. Was she the one that was going to the school board to talk about critical race theory? We talked about it last week. Patricia, welcome back. Give us an update.
Yes, thank you. Yes, there are 2 meetings taking place in Beaufort County.
That's right. It's the King Chicken meeting, and Okay. Now it's coming back to me. Go ahead.
Yes, on Thursday, June 10th, we will be meeting with members of the Board of Education, and we'll be discussing critical race theory. And July 8th, we will have a special guest speaker who tends to be a authority on critical race theory. She has done a lot of investigating, and she lives in Johnston County. But she'll be meeting with us July 8th. Dinner is at 6 o'clock. The meeting begins at 6:30.
And where is it?
This will be at, both meetings are at King Chicken in Washington.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Very good.
So we would love to have a room full at these two meetings.
Well, I got news for you. CRT, critical race theory, is the hot topic issue. And every day people are sending me videos of parents that are just gone ballistic. In fact, on Friday, I want to try to get some audio. I want to find out who the person was. There was a woman up in, I think it was Camel, New York, was the name of the town. And boy, she let the school board there have it. But I need to find out who the, I don't like to play audio if I don't know who the person is and being able to identify them. But it was a video and audio of her speaking before the school board, and boy, she hit it out of the park. Patricia, thanks for checking in with us, and thanks for what you are doing to fight critical race theory, which is, again, just a Marxist-dominated indoctrination. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You bet. Nationalfile.com has an article up today on Mark Robinson. Didn't have a chance to play this yesterday. Mark Robinson was the keynote speaker. Of course, he was on the air with us Friday night. And by the way, if you didn't tune in last Friday from 5 to 6 o'clock, you need to go back to our archives, which you can find at encnewsandviews.com, and listen to the interviews that we did. I thought two of the best were Greg Murphy and Mark Robinson, but it was really interesting. One of the things that we talked about, you asked him a question, and his response, and in terms of what the Republican Party needed to do to attract minority voters and to begin to win more of these contests, and he just hit it out of the park. And I made the comment. I said, well, I was sort of tongue in cheek. I said, who writes your stuff? And he said, nobody writes it. It's just me. It just comes from up here, pointing to his head. And I said, well, at some point we talked about, okay, well, are you going to have prepared notes for your speech tonight? And no, he just gets up there and wings it. This is unbelievable that he winged this. This is a piece of, this is going to be cut one, Clark. This is a piece from his speech on Friday night dealing with reparations. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson talking to black Americans saying, you are owed nothing. You are owed nothing. Mark Robinson.
There are some people that were talking about reparations in this country. They wanted reparations. And I remember I made this particular liberal so angry at me because I told them right to their face, nobody owes you anything for slavery. If you want to tell the truth about it, it is you who owes. It's you who owes. Why do you owe? Because somebody in those fields took stripes for you. Somebody, after those fields were ended and slavery was ended, somebody had to walk through Jim Crow for you. Somebody fought wars and died for you. Somebody lived less than because they didn't have what you have, and they did it for you. There are people in their graves right now, and they are there because they were willing to stand up and fight for you. Those folks on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, carrying American flags, take that, Colin Kaepernick, living in a society that he could scarcely acknowledge, something that he has never known, living with a bigotry that none of us can imagine. Carried American flags on that bridge, and when they were hit upside the head with nightsticks and shot with water hoses and knocked to the ground, they got up and picked those flags up and kept marching. And they did it for you. Nobody owes you anything. If anybody owes, it's you. Because you've been the benefactor of freedom. You are the one that owes. And what do you owe? You owe it to them to get up off your tail and get to school. And when you get to school, you owe it to them to get up off your tail at school and get to work and get some learning in your head. And once you get that schooling in your head and get out of that school, you owe it to them to get to work. And then when you get to work and you get married, you owe it to them to take care of your children and not let the government take care of your children. It's you who owe. Nobody owes you a single solitary thing. The sacrifice and blood that has been laid out in this nation on your behalf, there is a bill at your feet for it. It's time you got up off your tail and went and go pay it.
This might be the best 3 minutes of insightful oratory against Black Lives Matter and reparations you will ever hear. The guy gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Not to sound. Who was the guy that said he has a tickle up his leg when he heard Obama speak?
I don't know, that UNC graduate at MSNBC. What was his name? Chris Matthews.
Chris Matthews. Yeah. How quickly we forget. Who got canned for harassing women? I think. Yeah.
You know, when he was on with us Friday, you talked about who wrote his stuff, and I almost said it Friday. It reminded me one time of. I better be careful not getting emotional saying this, but I did a eulogy one time of a good friend, and afterwards somebody came up to me and said, you have a gift. That was some incredible writing. I said, I didn't write anything. I spoke from the heart.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I think he's speaking from the heart.
He's speaking from the heart, but when you have to do it on a daily basis and you come across just as clear and outspoken and winsome and every other positive attribute I could possibly give to the man in terms of his oratory, that is a gift. I mean, it's coming from the heart, but it's a heart with a gift. I love it when he calls out Colin Kaepernick when he's talking about crossing the Emmett Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama on that bloody Sunday, and how they got knocked down but turned around, and first thing they did was pick up the American flag and continue to carry it. I mean, he is, and again, that's the kind of thing that, you know, you'd pay someone an insightful, a lot of money for an insightful side comment. That was just a side comment about Colin Kaepernick, but that was so effective. Mm-hmm. And you know, this is why I have said that it is so important that we have men like Mark Robinson espousing these things. I can do it. I have done it, and I'll continue to do it. But when a black man says it, he will never hear the retort, you don't know what you're talking about because you've never been what I've been through.
Coming from him, I think it's received better. I mean, I have had those exact same thoughts before because I have witnessed growing up in the South. I'm in my mid-50s. I have witnessed black people of my dad's generation that really, really were abused in the South, and they worked their tails off only for one thing, to give their children a better life than what they had. And when I hear some of these young people now saying they don't have an opportunity in this,
you don't know what you're talking about.
No, they should look at their parents and grandparents and what they went through. And coming from Mark Robinson, it can be received better, but it's exactly the right message. Yeah. Not that there's not work to do and continue to do.
Right.
But that's a great message.
You are owed nothing. You owe. And again, marvelous speech.
And he said Friday, when we interviewed him Friday, one thing I wrote down that he said that Republicans need to take heed of. Republicans need to define their message, not CNN. And I really think the Republican Party, to that point, has been a little complacent about, well, we can't do anything about the mainstream media. We can't do this. Get out and get your message out. They're not going to put it out. Get it out.
There are certain people that have the ability, and Mark Robinson's one of them, by the way, but you have Ronald Reagan. I think to a certain degree you had Donald Trump, who had the ability to bypass the media.
Yeah.
and got their message out and said things that were so profound the media couldn't ignore them. I think that's the kind of guy that Mark Robinson is, and I hope that our state's future includes a prominent place for Mark Robinson. I'd love to see him become our next governor. On the other side of this whole equation, I mean, it's interesting that Mark Robinson was talking about those men who got and women who got knocked down and smacked across the head years ago in the 1960s during the civil rights marches and down in Selma, Alabama. On the flip side of this coin, and Mark Robinson would say to this Mara Gay, who is the New York Times editorial board member, this woman has come out. She tweeted over the weekend that the American flag just makes her sick. It disturbs her. She apparently saw a pickup truck that had a Donald Trump flag and a bunch of them, but predominantly it was just a bunch of American flags on the back of this pickup truck. And she came out and just talked about the fact that this is very upsetting to her, that she just couldn't take it. She went on MSNBC on Monday morning and just talked about how it was just so upsetting to her. And the good news is she's gotten a lot of negative feedback. I mean, she's had a lot of people on social media say, how about growing up a little bit? Who's the guy, Terrell, that's on Fox News? He wrote about, he just slammed her. For
Leo
Terrell. Yeah,
Leo
yeah.
2.0.
Yeah. Playing the race card. Didn't expect anything different from her, considering that she works at MSNBC. That's what liberals and progressive do, Terrell said. People are responding in outrage, including myself, regarding her attack on the American flag. She doesn't get a pass because she's black. And Larry Elder also gave her a hard time. That, this is what they do. They whip out the race card when they can't get their way. What do? Let's play the race card. Hey, we've got to get a timeout in here, so we'll do that right now. Stay with us. Much more to come on News and Views for a Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Break the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together at one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing is LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods?
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring?
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and FullServiceFlooring.com.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
He's washed his hands so many times he can now see the answers to his tests from high school.
Those aren't the right answers.
And you never know what to expect with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. 20 minutes before the top of the hour. Our VP, Kamala Harris, was on NBC this morning, and she claimed during an interview with NBC News, Lester Holt, that the administration has been to the border. Lester Holt asked, when are you going to the border? This is cut 2, Clark. And so this is the give and take between Lester. It's a quick little piece of audio, but what Kamala Harris says is mind-boggling.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
The cackling hyena strikes again.
She went to Hillary Clinton's lessons on that. She sounds like Hillary. You remember how Hillary used to cackle?
Yeah. She'd always have this goofy cackle.
And Hillary was she was I almost said a smart A. She was a smart A with reporters and all, just like she was.
I don't understand your point. You have to feign stupidity to come across that stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You're the border czar. You're not the Europe czar.
Now, if Lester Holt and NBC, was as sharp as our crew in the back, Clark, they would have keyed up. Well, here's a picture of the border. Here's some video of the border right here. You see what's going on? Let's talk about that. Yeah. I'm surprised Lester Holt asked the question. To be honest with you.
If you listen to the rest of the interview, I wouldn't say he backpedals, but he responds kindly to the vice president. Now, you can say, well, it's the vice president. He needs to respect her. They certainly never respect Donald Trump.
No, it was producer in his ear saying, hey, we are Democrats,
Yeah.
He's up, Lester.
I mean, frankly, I'm surprised that he even said, well, you haven't been there. But as you can imagine, there is all kinds of response on social media just going at it. I mean, you talk about 450 days under our governor's emergency orders. It's been over 75 days that she was appointed the czar and is yet to go down to the border. And I talked about this yesterday. She was down there with the president of Guatemala. The president of Guatemala says, you know what, it's not Donald Trump's fault, it's your fault. And it's your rhetoric that's coming out, and you're tearing apart families down here. When you come out with these overtures that, we're compassionate and we're reuniting families and everyone is welcome here. Here, what was it? She tweeted not too long ago, hear me loud, hear me clear, everyone is welcome here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's cringeworthy.
Yeah, I mean, what is somebody that hears that lives in one of the most poverty-stricken places in the world, highest crime in the world? What are they going to do? Right. They're going to start hightailing it to America through Mexico.
The media has been kissing the Biden-Harris butt for the past 18 months, and I think Harris just assumed that would go indefinitely. Now, again, maybe it was a mistake, and Lester Holt slipped up and accidentally asked the obvious question. But it would be nice to think, I'll go out on a limb here, it'd be nice to think that maybe there's just a spark of journalism within Lester Holt, and he was actually asking a question that was a logical question to ask.
I might have to listen to him now.
Nah. Forget it. The Daily Wire and a number of other media outlets are reporting on that Loudoun County, Virginia elementary school teacher who was placed on administrative leave back in May for refusing to affirm transgender identity in children. He was reinstated by a judge today. Byron Tanner Cross, who teaches phys ed at Leesburg Elementary School, which is basically a D.C. suburb, secured a temporary injunction from Judge James Plowman in his lawsuit against Loudoun County Public Schools, according to an announcement from Alliance Defending Freedom, which defended him. And again, kudos to Alliance Defending Freedom. If you ever want to give away some of your hard-earned money to a worthy organization, Alliance Defending Freedom ought to be on your list. WTOP reported that Plowman found the school system's suspension was unconstitutional and its handling of the situation was vindictive. The school argued that it suspended Cross not for his beliefs, but because of the disruption he allegedly caused. But Plowman said there was simply an absence of evidence that any disruption to school operations took place. Look, they're going to come in and say, because you are not following our mandates, that you have to call these students by whatever preferred pronoun they identify with. By you not doing it, you're causing disruption, and yet they're not taking any responsibility for the disruption that they have caused in schools and families and communities by mandating this.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. You are the ones that caused the disruption, and when you get just a little bit of pushback from a man with principles and morals and biblical values, you accuse him of causing the disruption. Unbelievable. He said, this is what got him in trouble. He said, I love all of my students, but I will never lie to them, regardless of the consequences. I'm a teacher, but I serve God first, and I will not affirm that a biological boy can be a girl and vice versa because it's against my religion, it's lying to a child, it's abuse to a child, and it's sinning against our God, Cross said. According to an email obtained by Fox via the group Parents Against Critical Theory, Cross was placed on leave from Leesburg Elementary School 2 days after his statement. This was a statement at a public forum before the school board. Shortly thereafter, he sued the school and was represented by ADF counsel. Public schools have no business compelling teachers to express ideological beliefs that they don't hold, nor do they have the right to suspend someone simply for respectfully providing their opinion at a public meeting, ADF said. You know, a part of free speech is not only the ability to say what you want, but it's also the ability to not say what you don't want.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned Alliance Defending Freedom.
Yes.
Is that the name of the organization? Yes. My question is, where is the ACLU in this situation?
Oh, yeah. Good.
I mean, where is the ACLU in this situation? But the ACLU only defends
liberal causes,
the causes that they agree with.
I mean, once in a while, they happen to be on the right side of the case, but it is a rare occasion when that happens.
Good for this guy, and you know, this is the type thing that people all across America should stand up and not be afraid to be canceled out, whether it's corporate CEOs, institutional leaders that has just fallen in line with all this mess. It's time for people to stand up and, as Mark Robinson said, run to the danger instead of run away from it.
Yeah. ADF in their press release said the bottom line is that the school district can't use teachers as a mouthpiece to promote a political agenda that violates their beliefs, but that's exactly what they're trying to do. And when Tanner used his constitutional right to speak up against the policy, officials punished him, propping him up as an example and sending the message that teachers must toe the ideological line or face the consequences. Well said, and they're exactly right. That's exactly what's going on here. We've got to take another time out. Stay with us. More news and views coming up in just 3 minutes.
Your trade has never been worth more. Get paid to trade at Greenville Toyota. Sell us your old car for cash, up to 125% of book value. Or trade up to Camry, just $189 a month. Get paid to trade. Now at Greenville Toyota.
Anything could happen ever since I met you. Let me take you
Introducing Pepsi Mango.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
This one's for everyone who spends the amount of time it would take to watch a movie, agreeing on which movie to watch. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Get paid to trade at Greenville Toyota. We'll pay you up to 125% of book value, even if you don't buy from us. Or trade up to Corolla, just $159 a month. Don't settle for less. Get more for your trade. Now at Greenville Toyota.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great.
Back to news and views. Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. Are we on? There we are. Welcome back in. 561-8255. We've got Ernie from Burgaw. Hey, Ernie, welcome in.
Hey, Ernie.
Hey, Tom. How you doing? Hey, Benny.
Doing well.
I'm gonna back y'all up a little bit to the Kamala interview. Just kind of mostly had a comment, man.
Yeah.
That woman's liable to be president for the next 4 years.
Yeah, but more than likely, yeah. Old cousin Joe. I mean, he ain't gonna make it.
No, he's about on his last legs, man. And Kamala just seems to me she don't really have a clue or even care about much of anything. I tell you, I don't know.
It's scary,
man. It all is, and the critical race theory stuff, and you guys are exactly right, man. People need to start standing up. I mean, I think about myself, but I'm a nobody. But they could cancel me to hell freezes over.
Yeah, exactly, and we gotta stand up, and we've got to say, I don't care if you're going to cancel me. I don't care if you're going to call me a racist. I know who I am, and I am just going to stand up and promote what I believe in.
And people have got to stop and think. You know, they can't say, "Well, I've got too much to lose." You know what? Losing our country and losing our freedom
is everything.
Is everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's exactly it, man. You think they got too much to lose? You wait till we turn into Venezuela. Yeah, then we'll see what you think about it.
Well, and the thing about it is, Venezuela was one of the richest countries in South America. They've got more natural resources than any other country in South America. They've got minerals, they've got oil. And if you can look at certain countries and understand why they are poor and destitute. Venezuela was not one of them. But yet when you allow these communists to come in, these dictators, these authoritarians to come in and take over, that's the result, Venezuela.
That's what you end up with, sure enough. That's exactly right. Yep. Well, guys, I love your show, man.
Well, thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
most every evening at 5 o'clock because I'm usually I get off about 3:30, so I'm able to catch y'all. Sometimes I'll just sit in the garage and listen to the show till it was over.
Well,
y'all have a good one.
I appreciate it. Thank you,
you.
sir. Appreciate the call. Appreciate the affirmation.
You know, it brings up a point. Talking about socialism and everything else, the liberal argument, and I've got some friends. You know, when they start talking about, you know, we need to have the government do this, we need to have the government do that, and my response is, well, where are these better angels that are going to protect us?
Yeah.
Because you just got through saying how dangerous Donald Trump is, saying Donald Trump is a fascist, and which is the most idiotic statement that can come out of anyone's mouth. But you say, I mean, who do we trust?
Right.
How about we trust ourselves?
Well, listen,
I trust the individual looking after their own rational self-interest
Thank you.
more than I do a freaking politician
Thank
that's
you.
getting a paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is, are you gonna trust someone who's a private corporation who had to go out and start that business from scratch? And granted, sometimes you're in the 5th and 6th and 10th generation of the people running that corporation. But are you gonna trust private enterprise, or are you gonna trust the government? Anybody that says, "Oh, I would always trust the government first," I mean, you hear people all the time that say, "Oh, I listen to NPR because that's unbiased, that's neutral, that's fair." What are you drinking? What are you smoking? Unbelievable.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
I'll tell you. Hey, thanks for being with us. Good to hear from you on the telephone, and we'll do it again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, all right, all right.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises, stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store, so tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.